You follow me?
No, say that again.
Okay,
how you get to 2,000? How you get to 2,000?
When you do a debt service coverage ratio loan and you pull that equity out of the house, you now have a monthly payment. It's called your debt payment to the loan. It's like a refinance. So you can't get taxed on debt. So if you're bringing in $3,000 a month rental income, you got to take care of the debt payment first, which is not taxed. So if it's a $2,000 a month payment, right? And you're bringing in 3,000 minus the debt, you're left with 1,000 a month net profit. That's all you get taxed on is that 1,000 a month.
I'll follow you.
Meanwhile, you got 225,000 in the bank tax-free.
Holy shit.
So it doesn't make sense to duplex owners like yourself. I know you got money. You go and buy these duplexes and you're like, I'm gonna build my portfolio up. That's great.
I mean, I've been doing this ass backwards.
You've been doing it the hard way, brother.
The hard way. I know everything. I didn't work hard for my money. I done cashed out for these properties. I done fixed them up myself.
Yeah, so
down there with different contractors.
Now you got to pay yourself.
That could go wrong with the house. I done fixed on it, and I've done it all from my pocket stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And I haven't even told you the best part. The best part about a debt service coverage ratio loan, you don't have to have any credit.
Really?
Yes, sir. Now, I will say you do have to have an LLC that's active.
I'm in my business.
Is it active?
Yeah, I got a whole business I'm running.
You got articles of incorporation in your tax ID number?
Yes.
You good then? You got a business bank account with the same LLC?
Yeah.
In Michigan?
In Michigan.
Who's the bank with?
Fifth Third.
Man, so this is what you need to do. You need to send me all of your duplexes and I'm going to tell you how much you can get cashed out in a week. If you got 4 duplexes, you might be sitting on $500,000 that you could have in your bank within a week.
Okay, yeah, we need to talk, sir. So I need some cash.
Brother, you're what we call in real estate cash poor.
Yes.
You got all these properties and you think you're doing something, which you are. You're doing something.
Man, I know it, but I mean, that's what I got. Property.
Well, do you know the addresses offhand?
3009. Yeah.
3009.
Yep, Sturdivant. STURTEVANT. That's 3009 and 3011.
All right, hold up. So that's 3009 STURT.
STURTEVANT.
Oh, Sturdivant. Yep. And then what's the other one?
I got 5028 Whitfield, WHITFIELD, and that's 5028 and 5030. 1-1. I got 5501 Oregon and 5503. 2-1.
All right. I'm gonna do my due diligence. I'm gonna do my due diligence on all. I'm gonna help you out, bro. I'm gonna throw you a bone and then I could care less about buying a house off of you. I'd rather teach you something and you return the favor one way or another. So that's really what I'm about. And you'll see that on my YouTube channel. All I do is educate people, and iron sharpens iron. There may be something that you can teach me about. I'm a 3rd generation Detroiter myself. I'm sure you're from Detroit yourself. And
born and raised, and
right.
Young black girl, 40 years old, just turned 40. I got a chimney sweep masonry business. That's I've earned my money from. Yeah, so anything, brick, block, of stone, chimneys, chimney liners, fireplaces, gas logs, wood stoves.
What I'll do, because I'm in the process of developing rebuilddetroit.com into a powerhouse, I'm gonna make sure that I put you on the verified contractor page under chimney sweep.
Hell yeah, sir.
I'm gonna make sure I give you premium positioning and marketing for your business. That's no problem at all. I always support Black business owners, so that's no doubt about it. I don't even know if you Black, but you sound Black, so
Oh yeah, I'm a brother.
So we support our Black brothers and sisters, man. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna underwrite these duplexes for you. I'm gonna make sure you own the warranty deed on them. I'm sure you do, but I just gotta check.
Yeah, I built that.
Okay. And then I'm gonna tell you by the end of the day how much money you can cash out on.
It's all good, man. What was that name again? Debt service? A debt?
I'm gonna text it over to you, but it's called a DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio loan. It's a little hack that us experienced real estate investors use. That's why we never pay any tax. And we always pull our equity out and utilize the BRRRR strategy, which is the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, which is funny because you're doing the BRRRR strategy, but you forgot the last R, refinance. You did everything else. You bought it, you fixed it up, which is the R, you renovated it, you rented it out, and you forgot to do the last R, which is refinance and then repeat.
Refinance.
You did the repeat part.
I know I've been doing this the ass backwards way, man. I'm just not that educated with, what I know more educated people are doing. Like, man, I'm using my money and I shouldn't be using my money. I know motherfuckers, like I said, using the debt, and I'm aware of all these other programs, but just not.
Well, you're in good hands now, my brother. So
it sounds like it, man. Sorry, I need to talk to you years ago.
Hey, man, a couple years ago probably wouldn't have been the right timing. So, everything is right on time. So it's about to be summer. I'm about to put a bunch of money in your pocket. It's funny because I had a partner, similar situation as you, man. He had 3 duplexes and he was just stacking more. He was calling me to buy more off of me. And I said, yo, Daryl, when are you going to DSCR loan those properties? He said, what you mean? I was like, when are you going to pull the equity out? Why are you just sitting on the rent? And he's a mortgage agent, and he had no idea about this. Man, I got that joke of 275,000 cash in the bank. That motherfucker went on vacation afterwards. I ain't heard from him in 3 months. Like, damn, I ain't heard from him in months. He promised me he was gonna buy some houses off of me with the money. He ain't giving me shit. But I support it.
I'm gonna be hollering at that too, man. One way or the other, man. I gotta grease the palms that grease my palms. So
yeah, man. But hey, even if you don't, I know everything gonna go accordingly because I helped you and I educated you on something. So we always gonna be here. I ain't going nowhere, Steven. So let me do this.
Okay.
Let me run the numbers on your rental on Northrop for $1,300 a month rent. I'm around 85, 86. When can I go check that out? I know you got a tenant in there. Can you let him know I want to go take a peek at it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll follow up with you on that one. And let me underwrite these other properties that you got, and then I'll loop back around with you. All right, boss?
Sound good, man.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, you too.
Yeah, man. So y'all can see, man, it's real out here, y'all. It's real out here. We are not fucking around. I'm not fucking around. So I hope that was a good call for y'all. I'm going to end it on that call because that was a banger, and now I got a bunch of work to do. I need to get this dude cashed out. And I'm gonna definitely add in probably 5% on top. So if I get him $500,000 cashed out, definitely getting 5% of that. So Jonathan, call me after. We got to get Milton on the phone and we're gonna get him taken care of. So does everyone understand that even experienced investors don't understand every exit strategy? So if you can educate them while being on the phone, what you're doing is you're actually extending the conversation and building rapport. You're getting them to forget about why I called. It's a psychological trick that I do when I'm talking to people. I purposely do those things because I don't want it to feel like it's a transactional conversation. I want them to feel like, man, this guy actually called me to educate me on something. Like I could trust this guy. And that's why I mentioned, like, you might have seen my YouTube. You might have seen this. I know he probably hasn't seen it, but what I'm doing is I'm bombing him with trust and credibility. And you heard him. He's like, man, send me that YouTube, actually. I'd like to check it out. Of course, I'll send it over for sure. Definitely. No problem. So it's sales rapport, sales rapport. It's just layering them with that, and you should have a good conversation if you utilize that strategy. But if you constantly stay on script, it's going to feel real transactional. So that's going to come with time. But let me hear some comments on that call. What did y'all think about that call? How'd you think it went? And we'll go from there. So I'll open it up for comments, questions, or concerns. We'll start with that last call that I had with Stephen. What did y'all think about it? Nobody has anything to say about that call?
Yes.
I did. Oh.
No, ladies first.
I thought it was a great call the way you was able to. I mean, you didn't call for that, but just because you were you actively listened to what he was saying and you were able to get more dialogue from him, which in turn you guys were able to find out, or you were able to find out he had multiple properties that he really didn't know what to do in terms of like getting the cash out. And you were able, like I said, you were able to transition that call still as a sale. I mean, just not at this moment as far as like selling his property, but being able to get him in terms of refinancing. So a sell is a sale.
Buy it though. We can still buy it because he says, I won't take no less than 100. And then I explain why I need to be at 1.5% rent. So instead of me instantly rebuttaling him at the 100K and saying, well, I need it for this, I didn't do that. I said, well, I ran a math calculation. I said, okay, so I took back control of the conversation. He's like, I ain't taking less than 100,000 on it. Okay. Some people would instantly shut down on that and say, okay, 100,000. Okay. And just take it at face value. But I poked at him a little bit. And I want everyone to understand this formula. I taught Jonathan this formula, but I want everyone to understand the tenant occupied formula that investors go off of. So what they do is they take the rent. So in this case, he said that it brings in $1,300 a month in rent. So you take $1,300 a month and you divide that by his asking price, which in this case, he's asking 100,000. So that's 1.3%, 0.013. So that translates to 1.3%, which isn't horrible. You really, rule of thumb, you really want to be at least 1.2% as a wholesaler. But I like better than that. So I said, well, Stephen, you're about 1.3% rent to value. So that means rent to value. So rent versus the value of the home, rent to value. So you're at 1.3% rent to value. I really need you to be at 1.5%. That's where I buy stuff in Detroit at. He's like, oh, okay, all right. I knew he had no idea what that means. He doesn't know what 1.5 means. So I said that just to make him know that I'm experienced. Then I broke it down into simple terms for him. I said, so let me tell you what 1.5% would look like, because you're at 1.3, which is not horrible, but I need it to be closer to 1.5%. So let me get you what that would look like. So I take the 1,300, and I'm saying this to him on the phone. I take the 1,300 and I divide that by 0.015. So instead of 0.013, I switch it to 0.015, 1.5%. That's my minimum, which brought it down to 86,000. Now I can go to a buyer and sell it for 1.3. You follow me? So now we just made $14,000. And the buyer is getting a property in the 48219 that's getting $1,300 a month in rent, and they're happy because it's 1.3%. Or we can sell it to them for 1.4% and we can make 10 grand. And they can have a little better investment because now they're making 1.4%. And we got it for 1.5. So 1% in real estate or 0.1 is a lot in terms of money. So does everyone understand the rental calculation? Does anyone need me to redo it? Like if you're bad at math, I am too. So does anyone need me to redo the rental calculation? So when someone tells you it's got a tenant in there, they're paying me this. Sonny, Yusuf, Trisha, Abdul, George, Mahmoud. I want you to be able to say, okay, give me one moment, Mr. Seller. So you're at, right now, you're asking $100,000 and it currently brings in $1,000 a month in rent. So you're at 1%. and we buy stuff at 1.5% and see what they say. Oh, well, what does 1.5% look like? Well, let me do the math. So you're bringing in 1,000 a month. I'm going to divide that by point. So 0.015. I would need it at 66,000, Mr. Seller. That's where we buy stuff at. And see what he says. That way you don't even have to put it into the notes and make us call back. If you want to really be successful in this industry, you need to be able to do these things on the call like I did. That way on our second call follow-up, we're having a very high quality conversation and we're not wasting our time. So you can tell them on the call, okay, Mr. Seller, so right now you're wanting to sell it for under what we buy it for. We buy tenant occupied properties at 1.5% rent to value, and you're selling it below 1%. So that's not going to work out for us. We have a minimum of 1.5%. And they might say, okay, so what's 1.5% offer look like? And then you can tell them, just get your calculator out and you take the monthly rent and you divide it by the percentage. Very simple.
So you're taking the 1,300 to say the 1,300 rent, and you're dividing that by the 1.5 because that's our bare minimum in terms of what we want. And that's going to get us what we should be offering.
Exactly. So I'm going to do it on my computer screen for everybody to see the math here, because I know it's tricky. And that's okay. But the more we do it, the easier it gets. So if we have 1,300 in rent, we're going to divide this by 0.015. This is 1.5%. You could also, if you want, you do it like this. It's just going to be the same. It's going to be the same exact thing, however you want to do it. So you could do 1,300 divided by 1.5%, or you could do it in decimal form. But this is our offer price, $86,000.
Okay.
So if they say, oh, it's bringing in 1,000 a month in rent. Okay, no problem. 1.5. You're going to get some situations, Jonathan will tell you, you're going to get some situations where they're asking 60,000, but it brings in 1,200 in rent. So when you do the calculation, it's going to be like, whoa, I'm at 2%. This is a deal. Yeah, those happen. And then in that case, try to get it even lower. Why not? Tell them, well, you know, would you take 50? This is already a smoking deal. This is a smoking deal, 2%. We could sell this for 1.5% and buyers would jump all over it, right?
So if it wasn't tenant occupied, then what is the what's the percent that you
if it's not tenant occupied? Yeah, so if it's not tenant occupied, it's a different pro forma calculation. So this is only, this calculation is only for tenant occupied. Great question. I'll tell you what the vacant is. So let me do calculations. So tenant occupied rent divided by 1.5% minimum offer. Okay, minimum. That's our minimum that will go. I really like to be at 2%, but 1.5 is our minimum we'll go. Vacant properties, okay, this is a totally different pro forma. So what we're going to do for vacant properties is we're going to take the ARV and we're going to times that by, I like to do 65%, but you could do 70%. Times that by 70% minus repairs. So if we have a situation where the ARV is 100,000, we're going to times that by 70%, which equals 70,000, right? And then we're going to minus that by, oops. We're going to minus that by repairs. Let's just say repairs are 45 grand. Whatever that equals. Boom. I'm not sure why it has euro, but you get the idea. So this would be $39,870 would be our offer. If the repairs are less, let's say the repairs are 30,000. Oops. Let's say the repairs are 30,000, then our offer would be 26,000. Or sorry, hang on.
It's because it's in euros, so it'd be 40,000 cash if the repairs were 30,000, and it would be, if it was 45, it would be what, 25,000 cash.
I don't know why he's doing this, but y'all get the idea. Let me just manually do this stupid shit. So this is 70,000. Okay. And then minus repairs. So minus, let's just say 30,000 repairs. Okay. Equals 70 minus 30 is 40,000 offer price. Okay. So this is the vacant property calculation. This is tenant occupied calculation. Does everyone understand this calculation here?